Straight to me, straight to me. Straight to me. Coming in hot. We're coming in hot! We're coming in hot, Facebook! we just jumping right back in, man. Hopefully you're with me. All right, listen, sorry about that, guys. I know we probably lost a whole bunch of you, and I had a great message for you today. But I hope you're with me. I hope you're with me. I hope you're with me. I hope you're coming back. I hope you keep coming back. Keep coming back. Come on back. Come on back, Facebook family. Come on back. We got lots to talk about today. Let me know you're with me again. Let's start building the momentum up again. Let's start getting in the groove again. Let's start working back everybody back on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on back with me. Come on back. James says I'm back. Look, I got Terry on here, my trainer. What's up, Terry? I know you're mad at me right now. I've been telling everybody in the office. I'm like, man, my trainer keeps texting me, and I haven't worked out in a while, and he's got great follow-up skills. He keeps bugging me. But it's really not bugging me. He cares about my health, right? He cares about my soul. He's trying to get me back in the groove again. And this goes back to business, right? If we don't do a little bit every day, we get out of the groove, right? He knows that. I'm out of the groove, right? I done got off track here. So I done got off track. He's trying to get me back on track. And that's what a good coach does, right? Terry, what's up, brother? I'm glad you're with me today. I need to get with you for real, though, right? For real. For real, though. I need to be with you. All right, well, we got Robin. I'm still here. Way to go, Robin. Ariana, hello, hello. Ready for today's show? We've been ready. We've been having some Facebook challenges. They keep kicking me off. I don't like it when they kick me off. I get out of my groove, you know what I mean? My groove gets kind of sidetracked. So we got a very important show today. The show today is about self-awareness and state of control, right? That's the two main things we need to talk about today. Self-awareness and how to control your state or state of control, right? And that's what the show today is all about, is helping you guys understand that you cannot go through this journey without failures. But how do we control the failures, and how do we move through failures with a positive attitude, right? And how do we slow down enough to appreciate the small wins? How do we do that? That's what today's show is all about. I hate it that we got kicked off, and a lot of you probably didn't make it back on here. So I'm hoping that everyone starts coming back and getting on the show with us today, because it's really, 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 really important that you guys hear this message today. It's even more important that you share this message today, because it will help anybody. I don't care if they're in business, if they're in real estate, whatever they're in. Understanding self-awareness and understanding how to control your state is by far one of the most powerful things you can do as a leader, a champion, a king in your world. And so it's important. It's very important that you do that. Now, with that said, if you're brand new to the show, my name is Zack. You have reached us on our Dig Deeper show. And that's a good stick there with my finger up my nose. Facebook is just not going to let me do it today, are they? They're just not going to let me have a show today. They're just not going to do it, are they? Oh, are we back? Okay, so listen, I hope we don't keep getting interrupted today. My goal is to not get interrupted today. So I wish everybody today embraces this message. I really do. Not to just hear the message, but to embrace this message on how you can prepare yourself for growth, okay? So It all comes down to a few factors, right? And that is, what is your perception of where you are and where you want to be? That's something you have to think about. What does that perception look like? And we're going to dig into that. So with that said, if you're brand new, welcome to the show. My name is Zack. I am a real estate coach. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a business consultant, and I am a entrepreneur. I'm a father. I'm a friend. anyways, you know. So I'm happy to have you on the Dig Deeper show every Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern Time Zone. Also, we do our real estate investing talk show every Tuesday at 1:30 Eastern Time Zone. What's the Dig Deeper show all about? The Dig Deeper show is all about digging into something that matters, right? Digging into an interview with an expert, digging into a book, digging into ourselves, digging into how do we dig deeper to get better at what we do. That's what the Dig Deeper show is all about. It's about this thing up here in our head. It's about how do we empower ourselves? How do we become stronger at who we are? How do we grow? How do we empower the people around us to do more, to want to be bigger, to participate more with us? How do we dig deeper into what we want out of life? We do it by inspiration of ourselves, inspiring ourselves, learning how to be self-aware of where we are and where we're going. I'll give you an example. We were doing a meeting, kind of a get-together this morning with the team, and one of our team guys brought up a quote from Winston Churchill about, true success, or how we stay with success, and I'm not saying it right, but it's about we move through failures with enthusiasm. We don't look at a failure as something that's just going to take us down. The only reason, let me get my pink shirt going today. The only reason that we look at a failure as the end of the end is because we're not in a place or a self-state that says we know there's failure coming. See, you can't live in this world and think that you're never going to fail. You can't live in this world and think that nothing bad's ever going to happen to you, that you're not going to get off track, that you're not going to have something that doesn't go your way. If that's the way you think, then what happens is when something goes wrong or doesn't go the way you want it to go, the problem with that is that it throws you off because you're not prepared for it. You're not ready for it. You're not cognitively aware that failure is going to happen. You've heard the statement, failure is not an option. Nowhere in there does it say you won't fail. It just says failure is not an option, meaning that if you fail at something, you don't let that be the dictation of where you're going to go. You keep moving forward through the failures. Will Smith said, if you're going to fail fast, fail hard, right? Or fall fast, fall hard, fall forward, fail fast, fail forward, fail, whatever he says, right? But the whole purpose of that is to understand that you're going to fail. You're going to fail at things, and you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware that no matter what you do, there's going to be things that you're not good at, and you're going to fail at them. But you need to be okay with that, because here's why. Failure is what we embrace. It's where we learn. It's not moving past that failure is where you make a mistake. And the only reason you wouldn't move past it is because you threw in the towel. You said, oh my word, like this is it. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't do this. That's because you weren't prepared for it. Prepare for failure and expect success. Prepare for failure, but expect success. That's a good quote to write down. I like that. Prepare for failure, but expect success. Therefore, you're living in a self-awareness state, right? So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is understanding ourselves, understanding our strengths, our weaknesses, how we react to things, how we want to react to things, how our cognitive thinking process responds even though we don't know what it's doing. It's self-awareness, right? What's a big self-awareness trigger? Self-awareness is like when something goes wrong and you feel it come over you. You feel like the failure come over you. You feel the side of it where you're like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Like this isn't going to work for me. I just don't know if I want to do any more today. That's a self-awareness that you need to be aware of, is that failure. But when you live in a state of awareness, right? A self-awareness state means that you're aware of all the emotional triggers in your life. If you know that you're going to fail at things to get to ultimate success, then when a failure happens, you don't let it encompass you. You don't let it control your self-awareness or your state. You don't let it control your state. You say, yep, that was something I failed at. I've learned from it. Moving on. You know why? Because we need to just focus on the future, not what's behind us, not what we did wrong, but what we're going to keep doing to move forward at all cost. That's what we need to focus on. That's the state we need to live in. How do I move forward at all costs? So when you're moving through those, you start to become more aware of the triggers that hold you down, the triggers that hold you back. Those are self-awareness attributes, right? The other side of it is that I know that people do all the time, and I hate this about the way we react to things, is we have been so trained over time to identify the things we do wrong, because that's what people point out in us all the time. Like, oh, well, you don't do this well. Oh, well, you do this wrong. Oh, well, you didn't do that right. Oh, well, you need to think about this. Oh, you need to do this. All of that has become a state in which we're accustomed to living in, is to have our flaws pointed out, to have our weaknesses pointed out, to have the things that we know we're not good at pointed out all the time. And the problem with that is it affects us personally. When we look in the mirror, that's what we see. We see the flaws. We see the weaknesses. We see the things we're not good at. We see those things. And so therefore, when we actually achieve a small win, we win at something, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give ourselves enough appreciation. We don't give ourselves enough gratitude to say, good job, Zach. Good job, Joseph. Good job, Toby. Good job, Ariana. Good job, Terry. Good job, Robin. We don't do that, right? We don't do that to ourselves. And so what we do is we look outside of ourselves for other people to give us what? Appreciation, to give us, you did a good job, that a boy, great job on that. We look for that. We're expecting, right? There's that word again, expecting, right? We're expecting someone else to tell us that we're doing good. And the reason we expect that is because we know that that's where we identify our weaknesses and our flaws and the things we do wrong, because other people tell them to us. Because we're not living in a self-aware state, right? When we're self-aware, we control our state, which means if I do something good, I don't need to reach out for somebody else to tell me I did a good job. I just need to look within and say, man, that was a good job, Zach. Way to go. High five, buddy, right? I'm moving on. You've got to learn to appreciate your small wins, your small victories, the little things that you've done, the 2 pounds you lost the other day, the 10 phone calls you made, the phone call to the bank that gave you the idea of what you need to do to get money. Those are all small wins. It's not the big win. See, we have like this attitude that we think if we don't win big, then we didn't win at all. That's not true. The small wins lead us to the big wins. And those small wins are what we have to start to appreciate. We have to start saying, look at that, I did a good job. I did a really good job there. That is where we have to be real clear on the small wins, because those small wins are what help us get very clear and aware of our self-awareness. I'm self-aware I did a good job. So therefore, I can always control my state. I can say, look, yeah, that went wrong, and I'm starting to feel the negativity come over me, and I'm starting to feel like I may lose at this, but then I got to remember, I knew that I would fail at some things. I knew that I wouldn't succeed at everything. But I also know I've had several small wins along the way, and I need to get my state back to that position to keep my eyes open for the small wins that's going to take me forward in my business, my life, my relationships, me as a dad, all that stuff. I need to be aware. I need to constantly be aware. Because when you're not aware and you're just living in a cluster zone, right? Like, here's what I can tell you. Most people will never understand self-awareness when they're the type of people that the alarm goes off and they jump up out of bed. They have to scramble to find their clothes. They're looking at their clock. They're running here. They're looking at their clock. They're running out the door. They forgot to eat. They're trying to do their hair, which I don't have that problem, but you know what I'm saying. They're running down the road. They're driving in their car. They're swinging through Apple or Burger King or McDonald's to grab a coffee and a fatty cheeseburger or a fatty biscuit, and they're throwing it in their mouth and they're running to work. They'll never find self-awareness. Because why? They're not controlling their state. They're not controlling their state. They're in a reactive mode to try to push themselves through the day instead of being aware of their situation and being prepared for their situation so they can control their state. That same person could start finding self-awareness and control their state if they just realize, let me go to bed an hour earlier so I wake up 30 minutes earlier, right? Now I'm controlling my state. Guys, I can't express how important that message is, especially for my young business owners that watch me. For the ones that are starting their journey, they've never had a business before, and they're starting to get going. It's so vital that you start spending time being aware of your emotional state. Do you know how much better you will be as a communicator, as a leader, as a business owner by just slowing down and being aware of your state? What state am I in right now? Should I react or should I think about this? Should I talk or should I listen? Should I respond or should I wait to respond? Those are all being self-aware. Self-aware of my state, right? And can you control your state? Yes, you can. The biggest message is know that you're going to fail. Know it. Don't deny it. Don't be naive about it. Don't think that you're going to hit a home run every time. Don't think you're going to have a 100% close ratio, because as soon as you start thinking that, and then you don't hit the home run, you only hit the base hit, you run to first base and you're mad at yourself. You're mad at yourself because you didn't get the home run. Instead of understanding that base hits win the game. They win the game. So you want those base hits. You want to get on first base. You want the next person to get on first. You want the next person to get on first and move around the bases so then when you do hit the home run, man, life is even better. But we can't ever get there if we're constantly thinking that everything's going to be perfect. It's not. It's not. You're living in denial without a boat, right? So you got to understand that you are in control of self-awareness. And the way that you control that is to be prepared for failure, but expect success at all cost. At all cost. Why? Because we learn more in failure than we ever will learn in success. I'm telling you, because that is where we educate ourselves. But what we don't do is we don't dwell on it. We don't keep thinking about it. We don't let it consume us so that we can't change our state. Let me explain that to you. If you're the type of person that when you do something and you knew it was wrong and you sit around and you think about it and you think about it and you think about it, that's actually good. That's good. But what you don't want to do is you don't want it to control you. You don't want it to embed into you where you're thinking about it all the time, right? Like an example, a bad relationship, right? You know, I hear this a lot. You know, you go meet somebody and they'll say, oh, well, you know, I was in a bad relationship and that's why I'm the way I am today. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. But that you're allowing that other person to control your state. You're not in control of your own self. If you're saying that you are the way you are because of the way somebody else treated you, then that means you have not let go of it, you've not let it leave you, and you're in a control by that person and they're not even with you anymore. Which means you're not in control of your state. You're not in a self-aware place in your life to say, you know what, even though that was an old relationship or an old partnership, they're still controlling how I feel. They're still controlling how I give love or how I give value because I don't want to be hurt because that person hurt me. That's because you're not in self-awareness enough to identify that to the point that you let go of it. If you never let go of it, it will always control you. So to have self-control or control your state, you've got to be empowered enough to say to yourself, I'm worthy of everything I have. I'm worthy of all that's going to come to me. I expect greatness in my life, and those around me that cannot be in that greatness with me no longer deserve to have my time, energy, or thoughts. And you have to let it go. You have to let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go, right? You have to let it go. Because until you let that go, it will control you forever. And a lot of people that deserve respect, love, success, they don't get it because it's because of them. They have yet to let go of the things that they're thinking about and they're keeping their eye and thought process on. So they